think risk-taking was diverting from the planning that I'd regurgitated for the last 2 years.
We are indoctrinated into believing we have to have ultimate control in our classrooms and our teaching areas and our teaching spaces.
The first thing that I think was important to me was to realise that actually I didn't need to be in charge.
Relinquishing that control.
Some staff really did not want to be in the limelight. They didn't want to be singled out for anything. Some of those staff in their own classrooms were amazing. They were doing all sorts of things, but they would only do it in their classroom when nobody else was looking. It was where they were feeling comfortable.
I think a comfortable classroom is probably an unchallenging classroom.
What I do is, weird and wacky things, whatever makes it stick. It's okay to have equipment out, and it's okay for children to experiment and have a play with things and work out, what they need and what they don't need.
With a project that I did with Year 8s, and this is photography, they wanted to do photography and they wanted to make pinhole cameras. I hadn't got a clue how to make pinhole cameras, and I researched on the internet and I didn't understand it. So I just gave it to them and said, you tell me how to do it, you go away and you come back and teach me how to do it.
One class where a group of students are doing A-levels. In the same classroom, a group of students are aiming for the higher grades at GCSE, but in the same classroom, there are 3 or 4 students who are aiming to get a grade C at GCSE, who have been placed there purposely. The risk-taking is massive. You can be observed in those scenarios, and the observer, if they only came in for 10 minutes, might initially see chaos. They see a lot of students talking to each other, then moving away, then coming back. You see some students hardly writing anything, and other students studiously writing pages and pages of worked examples.
So I took a risk there by admitting as a teacher that I didn't know everything. And they did go away and they did show me how to do it. So they were actually teaching me as a result of their research.
What you get is something a bit deeper, where they start to make very informed choices and that their thinking skills improve about why they might need particular things or what they don't need.
If you stay long enough, you see that student hadn't written anything, had actually taught 4 different students, and now was going for the very hardest question and was going to do 1 question that lesson, and was going to come out feeling that they'd achieved the objective for them, but also 4 other individuals that achieved that objective because of them.
So it's all about confidence, I think, in terms of teacher delivery, and it's also about having very clear expectations.
We all have high expectations of our children, but sometimes we can be very restrictive with our children. We think that they're only capable of this amount, whereas with Richard comes in, he shows us that they're capable of a little bit more.
Yeah, we're going to have a wonderful, interesting lesson. We're going to be very active, moving around a lot, probably do 5 or 6 different things within the same lesson. That doesn't, mean behaviour has to be an issue. And to be perfectly honest, you find that when you set up interesting tasks and they are moving around and they are doing a range of activities, behaviour normally isn't an issue. Behaviour sometimes comes as an issue as a result of they're bored.
Most of the staff now are feeling a lot more comfortable with what they're doing, but each one of them has had to go through quite a journey, quite a change.
I realised that risk-taking is about actually walking into a situation sometimes and not quite knowing where it's going to go. And there are times when risk, obviously part of risk-taking, things go wrong. We've walked out of the classroom and I've thought they haven't learnt a thing from that. I took a risk and it didn't go well, but so much more often you take risks and it just goes fantastically.